Good morning students. Today is lecture 26 under module 9 and in today's lecture we will solve some of the problems related to ultrafiltration. So, let us see the problem 1. I am just reading out the statement. An ultrafiltration membrane is used to concentrate a 0.05 molar feed solution to 0.15 molar concentration at 25 degree centigrade. The upstream pressure is 4 atmosphere and the downstream pressure is 1 atmosphere. The solute rejection is 99%. So, you have been asked to calculate the effective pressure driving force during the start and during the end of the process, then fractional decrease in solvent flux at the end of the process. It is further given that for simplicity the concentration polarization effect can be neglected for the above process. Let us start how to solve this problem. So, solute rejection is given. So, it is always a good practice to write down whatever the data is given. Okay. So, solute rejection is given 90%, feed concentration at beginning it is given 0.05 molar, and permeate concentration at beginning. Okay. So, it is equals to 0.05 into 1 minus 0.9. Okay. So, 90% rejection, that is why. Okay. So, 0.005. Okay. So, molar. So, it is considered that the concentration polarization is negligible. So, concentration, it is given in the statement, concentration polarization is negligible. So, that means the concentration at the upstream face of the membrane is equal to the bulk of the concentration. So, what is the meaning of this? Now, concentration at upstream equals to bulk concentration, okay. So, which is 0.05 molar. Okay. Now, further things, feed side pressure, it is given is 4 atmosphere. So, you have to calculate the effective pressure. Okay. So, effective pressure driving force means how it will be. So, effective pressure driving force. Okay. So, that is nothing but feed side pressure, okay, minus osmotic pressure. So, this is actually your pressure driving force. So, now we have to calculate the osmotic pressure. So, osmotic pressure can be calculated, okay, delta pi equals to R T delta C. This you know, last class also we have discussed. Okay. So, R is your gas constant, T is your temperature and delta C is your concentration difference. So, which we can write that R equals to, you can take R equals to 0.0821 into temperature is given 25 degree centigrade to 298 Kelvin into delta C equals to 0.05 minus 0.005 in moles. Okay. That is what we have calculated. So, here delta pi equals to 1.10 atmosphere. So, your effective pressure difference, that becomes effective pressure driving force. Okay. Now, it becomes feed side pressure. So, feed side pressure is given is equals to 4 atmosphere, 4 minus 1.10. Okay. So, it becomes 2.9 atmosphere, right. So, at the end of the process, salt concentration is given 0.15 mole. So, effective pressure driving force, right, at the end, okay, at the end will be 4 minus this 0.0821, that same pi equals to CRT from that equation only, into 298, okay, into 0.15 into 0.9. So, this becomes 0.69 atmosphere, right. So, then as the solvent flux is proportional to the pressure difference, the fractional decrease can be calculated. So, you have been asked to calculate actually the fractional decrease in solvent flux. So, we can write this equation. So, fractional decrease in solvent flux, how much actually decrease is happening in the solvent flux. Okay. So, that we can calculate is that effective pressure driving force. So, that is nothing but effective pressure driving force. Okay. So, at start minus effective pressure driving force, effective pressure driving force, okay, at end, whole divided by effective pressure driving force at the start, right. So, we can calculate it 2.9 minus 0.69. Okay. The effective driving force at the beginning is 2.69 atmosphere, minus 0.69 is the effective driving force during the at the end of the process, divided by 2.9. So, this is become 0.762. So, you can say that 76% decrease in initial solvent flux. Okay. So, occurred due to osmotic reduction in the effective pressure difference. So, this is what you have been asked to calculate. So, how much what is the effective pressure driving force at the beginning and at the end, and from this equation we found out that how much is the decrease in solvent flux occurred from the initial solvent flux to the end of the process, right. So, this is one of the very simple example actually, no much of calculation involved, only you know that you have to use the pi equals to CRT equation, and that effective pressure driving force is start minus beginning, that process, this one. Okay. So, let us see another example. I am reading out that actually the problem statement. An ultrafiltration module is used to concentrate a feed solution. The concentration of feed in the bulk is 0.6 mass percent. The flux of water through the membrane is 0.53 meter cube per meter square hour, and mass transfer coefficient at the membrane is 3.6 into 10 power of minus 5 centimeter per second. The diffusivity of solute is given to be 9.2 into 10 power of minus 7 centimeter square per second. The solute rejection in the membrane is 90%. You have been asked to calculate the mass transfer film thickness, okay, the small delta, okay, the polarization modulus Cm by Cv that was, and the solute concentration in the liquid near the membrane surface. Okay. The data given is mass transfer coefficient, okay, that is Kl, okay. Kl, it is given is 3.6 10 to the power of minus 5 centimeter per second. Solute diffusivity is also given, that is D equals to 9.2 into 10 power of minus 7 centimeter square per second. So, here mass transfer film thickness, mass transfer film thickness, that is this lambda equals to D by Kl, right. So, it is 9.2 into 10 power of minus 7 divided by 3.6 into 10 power of minus 5. Okay. So, this is 0.025 centimeter. So, this is the thickness of the mass transfer film. Okay. So, further solute rejection is given, so that R equals to 90%, or you can write 0.9, right. So, you have to find out the concentration polarization modulus. Okay. So, your concentration polarization modulus, okay. So, that is basically it is m, it is Cm by Cb, okay. So, Cm by Cb So that equation equals to exponential of your JW by KL. JW is your water flux, divided by KL is the mass transfer coefficient. So, divided by R plus 1 minus R, again exponential to the power of JW by KL. So, this is your equation for concentration polarization modulus. So, where Cm is concentration at membrane surface and Cb is bulk concentration. So, now we can calculate Cm by Cb equals to exponential to the power of, put all the values substituting everything, 0.000147 divided by 0.000036, okay. So, divided by 0.9 plus 1 minus 0.9, again exponential to the power of 0.000147 divided by 0.000036. So, this comes to 8.68. So, from here, so we can say that Cm equals to Cb into 8.68. So, 0.6 into 8.68 equals to 5.2 mass percent. Okay. So, this is how we can calculate our concentration at the membrane surface, okay, using the concentration polarization modulus equation. Let us see another problem. Okay. This is a little big problem actually. So, let us do it slowly and understand how to proceed. So, I am reading the statement, a tubular ultrafiltration membrane of 1.5 centimeter internal diameter and length of 2 meter is used to concentrate a macromolecular solution at 25 degree centigrade. The molecular weight of solution is 6000 with a concentration of 2 mass percent. The water flux through the membrane is 1.8 into 10 power of minus 3 meter cube per meter square second. The available applied pressure difference is 1.7 bar and the solute diffusivity through the membrane is 7.8 into 10 power of minus 7 centimeter square per second. So, it has been asked that what will be the flow velocity, okay, in the tube. That means, you need to calculate V mostly from the Reynolds number, okay. We will see how we will do it. Okay. So, you have been asked to calculate what will be the flow velocity in the tube that should be maintained to prevent the formation of a gel layer, okay, on the surface of the membrane. So, the rejection coefficient is given as 0.98, solution viscosity is 5 centipoise, the gel formation is occurred at a concentration of 10.5 percentage. So, any leakage in the pores and fouling can be neglected. Okay. So, let us see how we will solve this. Okay. So, concentration, okay, at which solute forms a gel. At what concentration the solute forms the gel, that is what is being we have to calculate, equals to nothing but the concentration of incipient gelation, okay. So, that is Cm equals to Cg, okay, and it is given 0.105, 10.5 percent is given. So, mass percentage, so you can write 0.105. Then it is given Cb, bulk feed concentration is 2 mass percentage. So, in fraction we can write 0.02. Rejection coefficient R is given 0.98. So, Cp equals to the permeate concentration equals to Cm into 1 minus R, okay. So, that is 0.105 into 1 minus 0.98, okay. So, your Cp equals to 0.0021. So, the permeability of water, the permeability of solvent can be considered equal to that of pure water. Okay. We are just considering that, okay, pure water. Why? Because it is being told that there is no fouling of the membrane has taken place. Okay. So, at the beginning of gelation, okay, at the that when the concentration polarization starts, then the gel layer formation is actually starting. So, we can write at the beginning of gelation. Okay. So, here Cm minus Cp divided by Cb minus Cp, the concentration polarization modulus equation equals to Cg minus Cp divided by Cb minus Cp. Okay. So, that is what exponential to the power of Jw by Kl, mass transfer coefficient. So, just let us substitute the equations. So, 0.105 minus 0.0021, so divided by 0.02 minus 0.0021 equals to exponential to the power of Jw Kl. Okay. So, from here we can write Jw by Kl equals to 1.748, take L, it will become ln of this. Okay. So, now we have to calculate the effective driving force, right. So, effective driving force, molecular weight of the solute is given as 6000. Okay. So, the concentration of the incipient gelation, so Cm equals to Cg equals to 105 divided by 6000 equals to 0.0175, this is gram moles per liter. So, then your delta pi osmotic pressure equals to delta C RT, okay, is 0.0175, okay, into 0.0821 is the value of R, into T is 25 degree centigrade, that is 298 Kelvin. Okay. So, this becomes 0.428 atmosphere. So, that is your delta pi. Okay. And your delta P, that is applied pressure difference, is given 1.75 bar, we can write it in terms of atmosphere. So, 1.727 atmosphere. Always be consistent with the units, that is very important, right. So, your effective driving force is nothing but delta P minus delta pi. Okay. So, that is 1.727 divided minus 0.428. So, effective driving force is 1.299 atmosphere. Okay. So, Jw is given 1.8 into 10 power of minus 5 meter cube per meter square second. This is given in the problem statement. Okay. So, and we have calculated that Zw by Kl from the concentration polarization equation modulus. Okay. This is Kl is to be 1.748. This is calculated. Okay, from the concentration polarization equation. So, from here we can calculate the mass transfer coefficient is 1.8 10 power of minus 5 divided by 1.748. So, it is nothing but 1.029 into 10 power of minus 5 meter per second. So, this is your mass transfer coefficient. Now, you have been asked to calculate the liquid velocity, at which the gel formation will not happen. So, how do you calculate that? Calculate liquid velocity. Okay. So, let us start with Schmidt number. Okay. You know Schmidt number Sc is nothing but mu by rho into d. Okay. So, where mu is the viscosity. So, viscosity is given is 5 Cp, okay, is 5 into 10 power of minus 3 kg per meter second. Then density is given 1000. Since we are assuming water, so the solvent has to be the pure water. So, we can assume take the density of the pure water. So, that is 1000 kilograms per meter cube, and diffusivity is also given 7.8 into 10 power of minus 7 centimeter square per second. So, let us convert to meter square, okay, into 10 power of minus 11 meter square per second, right. Now, so find out what is Schmidt number. So, Schmidt number is 5 into 10, we just substitute all these values whatever given, 1000 into 7.8 into 10 power of minus 11. So, it becomes 6.41 into 10 power of 5, right. Now, you know Serud number SH, okay, equals to KL D by D. Okay. So, what is this D is the tube diameter, which is given as 1.5 centimeter. Okay. So, we can write 0.015 meter, we are converting everything in terms of meter. So, you can calculate Serud number by substituting all these values. So, Serud number equals to 1.029 into 10 power of minus 5 into 0.015 divided by 7.8 into 10 power of minus 11. So, your Serud number becomes 1978.8. Now, you know we can write Serud number in terms of the Reynolds number, because ultimately you have to express these things in the terms of Reynolds number, from where you can calculate velocity directly. Okay. So, Reynolds number is rho dV by mu. So, V is there, velocity of the fluid. So, that is how we will calculate it. Okay. So, we can write Serud number, the expression Serud number equals to 0.023 Reynolds number to the power of 0.8 and Schmidt number to the power of 1 by 3. This is Dittus-Boelter equation. Okay. Or we can write this, substitute 1978.8 equals to 0.023 Reynolds number to the power of 0.8, then Schmidt number is, we got it is 6.41 10 to the power of into 10 to the power of 5 to the power of 1 by 3. So, from here we get Reynolds number is 5608.1. So, what does it indicate? So, indicates turbulence or turbulent flow, right. So, we got the Reynolds number. Now, it is very easy to calculate the velocity. So, you know Reynolds number is equals to, okay, dV rho by mu, okay, or V equals to Reynolds number mu divided by D and rho, right. So, just substitute 5608.1 into viscosity is 5 into 10 power of minus 3, D is 1.5 into 10 power of minus 2 into rho is 1000. So, here you get V to be 1.86 meter per second. So, this is V. So, this is the minimum velocity, okay. This is what we have calculated is the minimum velocity to be maintained, okay, to keep wall mass transfer coefficient high to prevent gel formation. This is what you have been asked, calculate the velocity at which gel formation will not happen, right. So, this is how we have calculated. I think it is clear to you that how you will calculate. Any time velocity has been asked, please write down your equations in such a way that you can calculate the Reynolds number, then it is very easy to calculate your velocity. If Reynolds number is not directly calculatable, okay, then you can use Schmidt number and Sherwood number as we have used, okay, different dimensions numbers. So, this is the importance of dimensionless numbers actually, how you use them in calculating various parameters. So, let us see another small problem. Okay. So, it says that a protein solution of 20 grams per liter is processed by using an ultrafiltration membrane. The process was carried out in a total recycle mode, that is retented and permeated recirculated back to the feed tank. The intrinsic and apparent rejection coefficients for the protein can be taken as 0.9 and 0.6 respectively. The permeate flux is given to be 5.8 into 10 to the power of minus 3 centimeter per second. You have been asked to calculate the mass transfer coefficients. Okay. So, let us see how you will do it. So, your intrinsic rejection coefficient, okay, so is Ri, Ri equals to 0.9, and what is Ri? So, Ri equals to 1 minus Cp by Cw, and your apparent rejection coefficient Ra is 0.6, which is 1 minus Cp by Cb. So, this is the difference between apparent and intrinsic. Okay. So, intrinsic is the real actually, Cw is the membrane membrane concentration at the surface of the membrane. Since you cannot calculate it, so you can use Cb, the bulk concentration, to calculate the apparent rejection coefficient or sieving coefficient later on. So, your protein concentration Cb is given is 20 grams per liter, or we can write 20 kg per meter cube. So, we can calculate Cp, then Cp is 1 minus 0.6 into 20. So, that is 8 kg per meter cube, and we can calculate Cw equals to, Cw is 8 divided by 1 minus 0.9 is nothing but 80 kg per meter cube. Okay. So, from concentration polarization equation, okay, we know that Cw minus Cp, okay, divided by Cb minus Cp is nothing but exponential Jw by Kl. So, this equation we have been used twice here in today's problem. Okay. So, we can calculate from mass transfer coefficient from this equation. So, Jw Kl equals to ln of Cw minus Cp divided by Cb minus Cp. So, which is ln of 80 minus 8 divided by 20 minus 8. Okay. So, is nothing but 1.791, but you know Jw is given. So, you can calculate Kl. So, Kl equals to, your Jw is 5.8 into 10 power of minus 5, okay, divided by 1.791. So, your mass transfer coefficient equals to 3.23 into 10 power of minus 5 meter per second. So, this is your mass transfer coefficient. Okay. You know how it is easy to calculate always mass transfer coefficient using the concentration polarization modulus equation, provided you know the bulk concentration and any other concentration, either the feed this one here permeate concentration or Cw, or you can calculate the concentrations if you are you have been given either the sieving coefficients or the rejection coefficients. Okay. So, let us now see two more small problems. So, this is how you will use the sieving coefficient equations actually. So, the apparent sieving coefficient and intrinsic sieving coefficient Sa and Si in an ultrafiltration process were found to be 0.6 and 0.1 respectively. So, calculate the mass transfer coefficient for a flux of 5.3 into 10 power of minus 6 meter per second. So, you know your Sa, apparent sieving coefficient, equals to 0.6, your Si is given to be 0.1, your permeate flux is given 5.3 into 10 power of minus 6 meter per second. Now, you can use the equation. So, which is ln of S A divided by 1 minus S A equals to ln of S I divided by 1 minus S I plus J W by K L, right. So, you can write substitute all these values. So, S A is 0.6 divided by 1 minus 0.6 equals to ln of it is 0.1 divided by 1 minus 0.1 plus J W is given 5.3 into 10 power of minus 6 divided by K L. Okay. So, from here this equation we can find K L to be 2.04 into 10 power of minus 6 meter per second. So, this is the mass transport coefficient. It is very easy one, only thing this you need to know this equation. So, this problem and the last problem we have seen that how do we use the apparent sieving coefficients, intrinsic sieving coefficient as well as apparent and intrinsic rejection coefficients to calculate mass transport coefficients. So, a very small problem we will see, then we will wind up today's lecture. So, a dextran solution of 4 kilogram per kilometer cube is processed in a ultrafiltration membrane that fully retain the polymer. The limiting flux, that is J limiting, okay. J lim at a particular cross flow velocity is given to be 2 into 10 power of minus 5 meter per second. The gelation concentration for the dextran is 160 kilo per meter cube. What is the wall concentration at the same cross flow velocity if the permeate flux is given 5.2 into 10 power of minus 6 meter per second. So, let us note down what is been given. So, it is given Cb equals to 4 kg per meter cube, Ra equals to Ri equals to given 1, J limiting. Okay. In our ultrafiltration lecture we have discussed what is limiting flux. Okay. If you can recall, then Cg equals to 160 kg per meter cube, okay. And you know you can use that J limiting equation. So, J lim, okay, is K ln Cg by Cb. So, this is the limiting flux equation. Okay. So, substitute the values. So, 2 into 10 power of minus 5 equals to K ln Cg is 160 divided by Cb is 4. So, from here we can calculate K equals to 5.42 into 10 power of minus 6 meter per second. At a certain constant velocity, the permeate flux is given is 5.2 into 10 power of minus 6 meter per second. Okay. So, you have to calculate Cw, okay, equals to Cb exponential to the power of Jv by k. So, it is 4 exponential to the power of 5.2 10 power of minus 6 divided by 5.42 10 power of minus 6. Okay. So, Cw is 10.44 kg per meter cube. So, this is what you have been asked to calculate what is the wall concentration at the same cross flow velocity if the flux is given as 5.2 into 10 power of minus 6. So, we have today seen how we will use even the limiting flux equation. This is the limiting flux equation, okay. J limiting equals to K ln Cg by Cb to calculate the wall or predict the wall concentration. So, thank you very much. Please, as I told you in the last class, please see Professor B.K. Datta's book and Professor Nath's books. They have so many solved examples. Please go through them, and there are so many unsolved examples also. Please try to solve them. In case you have any problem, please feel free to write to me at kmohanty@iitg.ac.in. And thank you very much. In the next class, we will be discussing dialysis. We will discuss what is the basic principles of dialysis, what is the advantages of dialysis, then different types of membranes that is used for dialysis and modules, then how mass transport happens in dialysis, and we will discuss about diffusion or what is known as the Donan dialysis, and few applications of dialysis. We will discuss of course the hemodialysis. This is one of the most important applications. So, thank you very much.